In this video, we'll look at whether you should do your cardio before your weights training, or you should do your weights training before your cardio. And then I will also look at when it doesn't really matter. And please stay to the end of this video because I have a secret for you as to how you can start to burn fat as soon as possible when you do your cardio. And lastly, I have a quote of the day for you at the end of the video, so don't leave. The single most determining factor that comes into play on whether you should decide to do your cardio first or your weight training first is your goal. So let's get into it. If your goal is to build lots of muscle or increase strength or both, the most important thing you want to do here is to start your training with the weights training session. This is because most of the time when you want to do weights, you need a lot of energy and you need a lot of focus. So the problem is that if you do cardio, it might end up draining you so much, either physically or mentally. And then when you come to the time when you want to do your weights training, you might feel that working out at the intensity that you intend to do might be an issue. So cardio utilizes your energy by depleting the glycogen in your muscles while you are doing that particular cardio workout, whether it's on a cross trainer or a treadmill or even on an elliptical machine. You will need the energy that you will be burning to do the cardio during your lifting. And being that lifting is one of the most important goals that you have, whereby you need to increase your strength, you need to increase your muscle, and you want to put as much focus into your training than ever after you do your cardio, especially if you do something like high intensity interval training. Then you might not end up working out as hard as possible if you started your workout with cardio. So thing is, if you start with the weight training, you'll be able to train at your prime strength, and also you can do the workout with a very high intensity, which gives you more results. If this video helps you, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to keep making this kind of videos. So now let's move to the second goal, which is to improve sport performance and maybe improve your cardiovascular fitness, or even maybe you just want to engage into a high intensity interval training with trying to improve your cardiovascular fitness. In this case, it means then you might want to do your cardiovascular training before you do your weights training. Doing weights is going to fatigue you up and may even negatively impact on your ability to perform your cardio at your peak. And you might get things like muscle pulls or muscle cramps, and those can lead to serious injuries that can negatively impact on your training. If you injure yourself in the gym, there might be a carryover of that injury into your sport, which is something you might not want to happen. If you look at, for example, someone like a sprinter, they need that burst of energy during the sprints, and if they do weight training before their cardio training, they might suck all their energy from lifting weights, and when the time to do their cardio work during their sprinting sessions comes, they might not be able to perform. So you can see why looking at your goal and determining what you need to do first is so important, especially if you are an athlete or a sports person. Another thing to consider is that most sports require skill and focus with a very great aerobic fitness with the little need for a lot of strength. You look at something like basketball, marathon runners, boxing, sprinters, handball players. They are specific with their sport, and this is where the principle of specificity comes in that you become good at what you practice. So if you do too much of lifting, that does not really improve your specific sport. Instead, it only gives you strength. So what you want to do is to pick that strength and transfer it into your sport so that you can perform better. Now, the best way to do that is to start with your sport, whereby you do the cardiovascular part of your sport, which is very closely related to your sport than weight training. In this case, it means that weight training becomes a supplement to your sport and not the other way around. Now remember, I told you I have a little secret for you. If your goal is to lose weight and burn body fat, then what you might need to do is to start with weights training and then follow that with cardio. I know most of you would have gone to starting with the cardio, but I'm going to make this clear to you. Your body does not immediately start burning fat when you get on your cardio piece of equipment, and it takes somewhere between 20 minutes, sometimes even up to 30, before your body starts to tap into your fat stores. And the body will use the glycogen in your blood and muscles before it goes into burning fat. And that's how our biochemical process works. So let's think this way, and this is where the trick is exactly. When you do weights training, your body utilizes glycogen as a primary source of fuel to lift weights. That glycogen is the same that your body uses when you start doing cardio. So it makes perfect sense that your glycogen levels will be low when you finish doing your weight session. So when you go to start doing your cardio, you start burning fat sooner than spending some time still trying to burn glycogen. Now, the good thing about this is that it saves you time, because instead of staying on the cardio equipment burning down glycogen, you could be doing weight training and working on your strength or even building muscle, and then by the time you finish doing that workout, which is in this case weight training, when you go to do your cardio session, your glycogen levels are already down, and now you can just start burning fat. And that, I think, is a kill. So you can see it means that your goal is the determining factor on whether you want to start with weight training or you want to do with the cardio. Now let's look at the fourth goal. If your goal is just general wellness and to improve your health and to be active, and you are not a gym fanatic and you just want to sweat and keep your muscles active and get your heart and lungs working at a good capacity, and maybe overall you just want to have fun and enjoy your workouts, then it doesn't matter whether you start your workouts with the weights training and follow that with cardio, or you're going to start with the cardio and follow up with the weights training. So for example, if you don't like to do weights training and you only enjoy to do cardio workouts, you want to get the workout that you least enjoy out of the way, because if you don't do that way, you are going to most likely skip the one that you don't like. So in this case, if you don't like to do weights training, you might start with it before your cardio, and if you like doing cardio, you might start your cardio and then finish with the weights training. Now, if someone is obese or is inactive most of their life, or they lead a sedentary life, or they are beginners and they now want to work out and they don't know whether to start with their doing weights or doing their cardio, then the best option for them is to start with cardio. Most of these people, they have a very low fitness level, they might be completely new to exercise, they have a lot of weight to lose, and maybe they're in pain whenever they move. So they want to start with the cardio at a very low intensity, sometimes very low than you might imagine, and then when they go to do the weights training, they might also want to do it at a low intensity, and they might want to use both of those activities as an induction to the gym. After they've made notable progress, they can now step up their intensity of training or even the order of the workouts, but again, depending on whether they acquire new goals over time, could be another factor. So they want to make mini small steps until they get there. So my call to advice here is that you should try out these protocols and see how they work out for you. At the end of the day, what gives you the best results and helps you to live a healthier, better life while enjoying your workouts is the best program.